Alright, so today we're going to be looking at some of my favorite personalities that stem from Kaneki, obviously our main character. Now, Kaneki has gone through a lot of different personality changes, and for me, what makes him an enjoyable character, because with these personality changes and his mentality wavering through the entirety of the series, we get this really cool depth of a character, and it basically forms the character progression as well. You couple that with a half Kagura and a full Kagura, like when you get to those limits, and it just becomes a phenomenal in-depth character that has a fuck ton of character progression. Now, many different shapes and forms come with Kaneki's progression as a character, especially because he backpedals from different mentalities. It's not really like a progressive character progression, if that makes sense. It's like piece by piece, and it's kind of like you'd level up each piece or each mentality a little bit, and then you'd go to another mentality and you'd start from scratch. And that's kind of just how I picture Kaneki as a character, and for me, I really enjoyed that style. And he's not the only person. There's a bunch of other characters that do this as well. It's usually the ghouls that actually delve into cannibalism and actually delve into like insanity with the half Kaguras and the full Kaguras, and you know, there's a fuck ton of characters that have that. Now, this is in no particular order, but I'm gonna start off with like the OG Kaneki, like the most known Kaneki, I want to say, to the community of Tokyo Ghoul, and that is the white-haired Kaneki. He's definitely got to be here, just because of how iconic that mindset is, and it's kind of like the first time he's really accepted the Rize side. Plus, it's a very monumental moment for him as a character. Like I said, accepting Rize and becoming a full-fledged ghoul with that monumental Jason moment with the centipedes and the finger cracking, and it's world-renowned at this point. So that character, that personality for Kaneki is like top tier. It's not my favorite, but I respect it in the essence of that it was the biggest and our first, I guess, look at how deep Kaneki's character would go in the future. So now the second personality is the half Kagura Kaneki, which is a little bit different because this only takes place at the end of the first Tokyo Ghoul manga. Now, the reason why I like this is because there's a lot of different things entwining into this personality, a lot of different emotions, a lot of different abilities and powers, and it's just a massive clusterfuck. But even though it is a massive clusterfuck, it does actually have some sort of shape and form to it that you can actually follow. Now, at the end of Tokyo Ghoul, it's one of the most monumental moments. It's a very emotional moment. Obviously, the reunion between Kaneki and Hide is a very big thing. Kaneki, bit by bit, slowly losing control and getting worse and worse and basically going insane. Coupling this, he has like a brand new power that he can't control. His insanity and his brain just almost overtakes him, but you can see Kaneki kind of fighting back as a character. You know, he's trying to fight back this insanity. He doesn't want to hurt Hide. He doesn't want to, you know, turn into this monstrosity of a being. And that ending in itself when he versus Arima is a one-of-a-kind moment. It's one of the biggest moments in the entirety of the story, especially because it shows us the pinnacle of that version of Kaneki, basically. That's how far we got with Kaneki's character having a half Kagura before he was quote-unquote reborn. Now, jumping over into the next series, Tokyo Ghoul Re, we have Black Reaper Kaneki, and for good reason, because this is a personality that was completely, I want to say, the most unusual out of every single personality that Kaneki has had, just because it doesn't fit his style, basically. Every single one of Kaneki's personality has like this massive hint of insanity and a little bit of depression and suicidal tendencies and whatnot, but the Black Reaper Kaneki was emotionless, a mentality, a personality that had no emotions, had no feelings for other characters, and didn't really give a fuck about himself either. He wasn't really depressed, he wasn't really suicidal, he just literally did not give a single fuck. And this is what made him very ruthless as Black Reaper Kaneki, a very vicious opponent, especially if you're versing a character that doesn't even care for their own well-being, their own health. They are a very, very dangerous person to verse, and that was Black Reaper Kaneki in a nutshell. For good reason. One of the most popular personalities in the entirety of the series for a lot of you guys, so, and I can 100% see why. We only seen a small portion of it, and you know, the reason why he went into that personality is because he was stuck in like this limbo stage of not having any memories of the past, but slowly gaining memories of the past, and it kind of just all meshed very horribly into this one emotionless, fucked up Black Reaper Kaneki personality. So, now personally, my favorite at this point, which is going to sound a little bit weird because I know, I guess, majority of people wouldn't pick this personality, is actually what Kaneki is going through now. I actually like the political Kaneki for a lot of different reasons, but like I guess you could call him the one-eyed king personality when he is reborn for the final time. And the reason why I like this personality so much is, once again, the political side of it. Kaneki has a organization now that he has to run. He is becoming a massive leader role. He is a king. People worship him as a god, basically, and at the end of the day, he has to deal with all this. Now, this personality is very lackluster compared to the other ones I just mentioned. But for me, I like this subtle side for Kaneki, this more thinking, you know what I mean? Being smarter about how he approaches different situations, being tactical, and basically trying to advance his entire organization. Like, I'm a really big fan of political wars and like mentality warfare, you know, like Kingdom. If anyone has ever read Kingdom, that's pretty fucking phenomenal when it comes to like political wars and basically commanding, you know, hundreds of thousands of troops to battle against another massive army. And it all comes down to like mental warfare. And at the moment, we have that with Kaneki and Furuta. They're basically playing a mental game of like who can fuck over the other person better, basically. So I really enjoy Kaneki's personality right now. I feel like there's going to be one more, however, that we will most likely potentially see at the end of the series. But for me, this quote-unquote One-Eyed King Kaneki personality is like, I guess, one that kind of hit home, like one that I really enjoyed and one that's kind of written out pretty, I guess, fully, if that makes sense. It feels like Kaneki's a full character now, to essence, or at least being close to a, you know, fully written character, and I really enjoy that. So I know there's a bunch of other like mini personalities that Kaneki has, as well as like his original personality, like this innocent boy that he used to be. But if you look at Kaneki as a character and where he's come from, you know, he started off as a young innocent child basically that was super anxious and just nervous around everything to where he is now. It's just a phenomenal incline of character progression, and overall every single personality, every single change that Kaneki has had is phenomenal either way. So with that being said, let me know what you guys think, because I'm sure you guys have your own personal favorite, I guess, Kaneki personality that you enjoy the most. But with that being said, I'm actually going to end the video for you. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.